Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest NZ Octane React video. Today we're going to be reacting to the most dramatic moments in the F1 2020 season. So let's just get straight into it.
Albon is all over the back of Hamilton, who once again forces in the long way round. And again, no,
Okay.
with Lewis Hamilton.
Straight off the bat, I don't know how many other people watch Formula 1, but I've just gotten into it this season, and so the teams that I support are Red Bull and McLaren. I want Red Bull to win the Constructors' Championship, and I want Max Verstappen to win the World Championship, because I want to see someone else other than Lewis Hamilton up on the podium. And this, so I don't know who's watched the Silverstone Grand Prix race, so spoilers alert. What happens here with Alex Albon is exactly what happens with Lewis Hamilton in the latest race at Silverstone, and it is just, oh, my blood was boiling. He does this every single time there's a Red Bull ahead of him. He just cannot seem to handle a Red Bull ahead, and it sucks. Alex Albon should have had 2 podiums when he was at Red Bull, and unfortunately he didn't, all because of Lewis Hamilton doing this. I like Lewis Hamilton. I don't think he deserves the hate that he gets, but I want to see Red Bull up there, and I want to see Verstappen beat him this season just for a bit of a change, to show that Mercedes are beatable in the turbo hybrid era. Over that has been the past few years. Mercedes has won like the past 8 Constructors Championships in a row, so I really want to see Red Bull up there. And I was just so furious when this happened in at Silverstone. So let's get back into it.
And the podium that looked a certainty has been wiped out in a matter of seconds.
Exactly what happened.
This guy is such a leader.
Yep.
So is that Hamilton's fault once again, as he accepted blame and took blame in Brazil?
I felt like Brazil was a bit more 50-50. I felt like I did the move already. A really unfortunate scenario with Alex.
Albon was ahead.
Can't believe we've come together again.
So annoying.
Someone's had a very, very big crash, and it's Danny Kvyat in the Alpha Tauri. And I hope he's okay.
Looks like he just powered down too much.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry.
He's a good driver, Daniel Kvyat.
Are you okay, Danny?
I'm pretty sure he's reserve driver at the moment.
Yeah, that's a big impact. Luckily, the safety cell is pretty mighty on a Formula 1 car these days. Yeah, right rear tyre, puncture.
Oh,
I didn't expect that. I was having a great race. It's very, very disappointing, to be honest, but that's life.
Go for it, go for it, go for it!
Look at this little battle. Charles
Leclerc locks up on Sergio Perez. He was trying a move to get second place in this race. Perez comes back at him. Sebastian Vettel comes back at Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez, for the 3rd time in his Formula 1 career, can see the second checkered flag and takes second place in a race. And Charles Leclerc, who...
So I used to not be that big of a fan of Sergio Perez. Now he's at Red Bull, and I like him now, but he's actually has grown on me as a driver. I've sort of realised that he probably didn't have his full potential, but it was probably good for him to be at Force India in one of those mid-tier cars. But now that he's in a top-tier car, like the Red Bull, he's actually a phenomenal driver, really good at reserving his tyres and making them last throughout a race, going on the longest stints. Had a pretty terrible race, spoilers, at Silverstone, which was, a shame to see. I would have liked to see him do better, but hey, it is what it is. At least Red Bull's still ahead.
Podium in his sights, has to settle for...
And on that note, Charles Leclerc. I'm not a big Ferrari fan just because I support McLaren. Charles Leclerc, phenomenal job at Silverstone. He was awesome, led most of the race, and I was gutted to see Hamilton overtake him at the end. I wish he got that podium. I wish he got first.
P4, slow button on. You did a good job. Really good.
No, I did a job. I did a job. That's it.
Poor
I did a job. I am so sorry to the whole team. I am stupid.
Now we're on board with Giovinazzi Wall, and that you can see George Russell trying to get out of the way, but
I don't think he hit Giovinazzi. I think
no, he didn't. I think he was already going off.
Oh shit! Oh, he got hit by the tyre.
Okay.
Never I could go, guys.
Wonderful to see both drivers climbing out of the cockpit.
He said, I don't know, not bad luck.
Look up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc and his 3 cars gone off. And
I'll just pause it and go back to that, just on George Russell. I think George Russell needs to be in that next Mercedes seat. Bottas is a phenomenal driver and plays a really good number 2 this season. He's had a few stuff-ups and not probably been at his peak the whole time. But I just want to see George Russell in there. He's got so much potential, and it's just an absolute shame to see him at the back of the grid do so well on Saturdays at qualifying, and then just for his Sundays to go to wreck and ruin. He was so close to scoring points the other week at the Red Bull Ring. That didn't happen. That was a shame. Fernando Alonso overtook him in like the last lap. And then at Silverstone, he got hit with a 3-place penalty for an incident that I think was caused by Carlos Sainz, who's at Ferrari. He went around the outside. You can see from the camera footage that George Russell couldn't see him. Sainz went around the outside and they collided, and George Russell got hit with a 3-place penalty and ended up starting in, I think it was like 11th or 12th place, which is a real shame considering I think he was about 9th. So that was a real shame to see. But anyway, let's get back into that.
look up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc and his 3 cars gone off at turn 4.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything there. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Out.
Charles Leclerc locks
Max
up.
Verstappen breaks really early there. It was Perez turning in on the Ferrari, and they collected Verstappen.
I saw Sergio on the outside, but I was expecting to stay on the outside of Bottas.
That's just a shame, but that's racing at the end of the day. When a collision like that happens, you can't just say what could have been. It is what it is.
But he actually, I think he wanted to cross the line, and when I saw that, it was basically too late already. So
when you're just trying to survive, and that the first few corners when everyone around you is just being so aggressive, it's just really annoying. Also annoying that the car was quite racy. It's just very frustrating.
Perez goes even faster out in front and is on provisional pole. Here comes Lance Stroll. Can he dislodge his teammate Sergio Perez from pole position? Stroll crosses the line and he does go pole. 1:47.7. Lance Stroll is on pole for the first time in his career. Yes, boys! Let's go! Let's go! Yes!
I think Lance Stroll's another one of those underrated drivers. I used to not like him because he's a paid driver. His dad owns now the Aston Martin team, but bought out Force India when they went bankrupt or something to do with the owner. But anyway, Lance Stroll then moved up from Williams to Force India, which became Racing Point. And he's one of those drivers that when he first entered, he wasn't very good. He good enough to be in Formula 1, but I think because of who his dad was and being paid. But now he's starting to prove himself, and he's becoming quite a good mid-tier driver. He hasn't had the greatest 2021 season. You don't really hear much about him. He had a crash at Baku, but that was a tyre blowout, more like it. Well, it was a tyre blowout, but he's a bit of an underrated driver, and when it comes to the wet, he really knows how to keep his car on the track and just keep it under control and bring home good results. Gets a little bit of mixed results, but I think he's slowly getting better as his time in Formula 1 progresses. I wonder if Nikita Mazepin's going to do the same.
It's a qualifying session that was, and for Lance Stroll in his 75th race in Formula 1 takes pole position. Hamilton then comes into the pits. Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri in their home race leads the Italian Grand Prix.
Carlos, you can be patient with Raikkonen, you can be patient. I'm worried about Gasly. One at a time, Carlos, one at a time.
Well, here comes the first one. Carlos Sainz is going for it with Kimi Räikkönen, who gives him enough space, and just enough space, and Sainz moves up into second place.
Okay, we have Sainz behind us now. Sainz behind us.
Very good driving from these young drivers, especially Gasly under so much pressure.
Carlos, you're second. No mistakes. Just keep it really clinical.
I want this win, Tom.
After being replaced in his Red Bull seat by Alex Albon, he started 17th there, he finished 11th. He could go and win this yet today.
Last lap, one more lap.
Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh my, is that just wonderful?
Oh my God! What did you do?
What did you do?
And it is, what, an 80th Grand Prix win, I think, for a French driver. The first is Olivier Panis.
P2, I know you wanted the win, but you're P2, buddy. That's a really good result. You've been great all weekend. You've been great all weekend and made up for that red flag. Great work, mate.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing for the drive.
I struggle to realize what's happening. I know it's been such a crazy ride in the last 18 months, and yeah, today we're Italian Grand Prix race winner, and I just want to thank all the people who helped me to make that possible.
Pierre Gasly, another underrated driver, I think. At his time at AlphaTauri, just sort of cruised, I think, the back in midfield, because AlphaTauri is basically Red Bull's sister team, so they're a little bit lower. Well, obviously they're not going to be outshining Red Bull the whole time. That'd be a little bit bad. But Pierre Gasly, he got the chance to move to Red Bull. This is for those of you who don't know the story. He got the chance to move to Red Bull, was with Red Bull for 6 or 7 races, just wasn't given enough time, I think, to slosh into the car. They wanted him to just get results after results after results, which doesn't always happen, especially when you go from like a lower tier team to one of the top teams. So he then got the boot and got moved back down to AlphaTauri. I think it was a little bit of a harsh decision. And then the very next race, he won the race, which we just saw. He won the Grand Prix in the AlphaTauri, which I think would have stung a little bit at Red Bull, but it was awesome to see him get that result, especially after such a hard time that he would have gone through being moved up to Red Bull. Just had so much pressure, not giving the time to adapt, and then being put back in the AlphaTauri and just getting the win. This season, he's doing a really good job. A little bit of mixed results. One race he'll be in the top 10, top 7, doing really well up there, and then next he's in the bottom 10 out of the points. Same with Yuki Tsunoda. It's a little bit mixed. I think it just depends on how they are on the weekend, but really underrated driver, Pierre Gasly. I hope to see him in the sport, stay in the sport, and maybe he might move to another team. I don't know if he's going to be staying at AlphaTauri for much longer, but who knows in F1, but I really hope that he stays in the sport.
That is Lewis Hamilton, and he's got tyre problems as well.
This is the last lap. You've got 20 seconds to Verstappen.
This is now Lewis Hamilton praying that the checkered flag comes as soon...
That's why I want Verstappen to win. Sorry about pausing it. That's why I want Verstappen to win this World Championship this year. Because, look at that. Lewis Hamilton, 20 seconds ahead. I know that Max Verstappen's had a few moments like that. But 20 seconds ahead, it was basically like that the entire season, and has been like that the past few seasons, where just Hamilton just blown past everyone else, left everyone in the dust, and is just cruises through. You want to when you're watching a sport like Formula 1, you want to see fighting, you want to see battles between people. As much as I didn't like what happened at Silverstone, it was racing, it was exciting, it had me on the edge of my seat. Wasn't the result that I wanted from it, but that's what you want to see in the sport. And so, phenomenal driver Lewis Hamilton, and this shows exactly why he's a 7-time world champion and has now beaten most of Michael Schumacher's records. But yeah, I want to see closer racing. I want to see someone else win the World Championship. Lewis can win it next year. I want Verstappen to win it this year.
As is humanly possible, the gap between Hamilton and Verstappen going down all the time. Verstappen just going through Chapel.
On 3 tyres, 1 blown tyre.
If you get on with it.
If you get on with it, it's the right instruction through the Vale chicane. Look how difficult it was to stop. But for Lewis Hamilton, the checkered flag will come in the nick of time for a 7th British Grand Prix victory and a record 7th British Grand Prix victory for the most wins at home. It's Lewis Hamilton.
That was a couple
of
before.
You've done it. You've done it. What an extraordinary... It was a bit of a slow burn, that race. What an extraordinary end.
There was a couple laps before Verstappen could have caught him and won that race, but lucky Lewis had that lead.
One of the most horrible feelings is hearing someone catch you that lap and get overtaken just before the line or something. With them on support, we managed to bring it home.
The safety car has gone, the light's gone green, and Bottas is away, and there's a big crash at the back, and that is the Alfa Romeo. The Haas of Kevin Magnussen that rather started that because he was going
Brakes
that much slower, and then the McLaren goes into the back.
Oh man, there's just no time.
Oh my god, if you're okay. That's dangerous.
Well, that looked very nasty indeed from the cockpit of Romain Grosjean.
That was stupid from whoever was at the front. They want to kill us or what? This is the worst thing I've seen ever.
I think the leader was always going to try and go as late as possible, just to avoid the slipstream effect. You know, when you're in the midfield to the back of the pack, the Constantino effect always kind of makes it a bit more difficult to judge.
Just after lap 1, I had a good again, I was back up to P14, and after that, everything could happen, but yeah, just really dangerous things. So we need to check what we can change on this.
And a big fire there as they exited out of turn 3, and that looks very nasty indeed, and unsurprisingly that is a red flag.
Is he okay? What's going on there?
Out of the car, Romain Grosjean, which is just the best news that we all want to hear at the moment. This is after turn 3, and you can see Grosjean, one car out there, and then Grosjean to the right hand side.
No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel.
You don't see that sort of thing in Formula 1 happen often anymore. It used to happen back in like the 90s and 80s and 70s because the cars just weren't built to the same standards, but to see a car hit the barrier and explode like that is just... It's amazing that Romain Grosjean walked out of that and got out of it. I think everyone was stoked that he got out of it. With as little as not minor injuries. He got, I think, 3rd degree burns to the hand, or 1st degree, I don't know which one's the highest or what's what, but he got burns to his hands and feet, probably from climbing over the barrier there, as you can see, that there, but absolutely phenomenal that he walked away, and it was a big shock to, I think, even a lot of people that weren't Formula 1 fans to see that sort of thing happen on TV. It's just so rare, and just absolutely amazing the fact that he got out of it.
The middle of the car.
Wow, there's Romain Grosjean,
unbelievable,
jumping as fast as he can over the barrier. There were 3 people on the other side of the barrier.
I'm happy to be alive, happy to see you, happy to talk to you, happy to meet people, just happy to breathe air, to be here.
Well, that's it for this NZ Octane Reacts video. Let me know what you thought about doing one more specifically on a certain motorsport, especially one like Formula 1 that I'm really interested in and really love. If you want to see me react to other types of motorsport that I probably don't know as much about, let me know. I'm definitely going to do a few more of these Formula 1 ones. Formula 1. Definitely going to do a few more of these Formula 1 videos. I really enjoy them, and I'm really getting into the sport. Hopefully everyone else does as well. Thank you very much everyone for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see, and we'll see you on the next one. Make sure you check out every new NZ Octane video that comes out on a Sunday. I'll release them at 6 o'clock. I might change the schedule eventually, but Sunday 6 o'clock, nice video for everyone to sit down and watch before they go to work the next day. Sweet as, have a good one.